Hi, welcome back. I am going to share with you today how to use the 5E model that is used in science and how it can be used in math. So if you're not familiar with the 5E model, here are a few components. You have engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. So far as an engagement, that can be a nice hook. It could be a number talk. Explore is when you give them a problem to struggle through, just to kind of see what they come up with. Then after they explore and give you their reasoning, you can explain, and then your explanation part, this is where the teaching would take place to make sure you've kind of cleared up any misconceptions that they have from the exploring part. Then after you explain and model and clear up misconception, that's when it starts to go to, it could elaborate or it could be evaluate. So these could be interchangeable because after I explain and I do a few models, I want to see what they know before I move on to elaborate. Some kids may not get to elaborate because they may kind of party here in the evaluate phase. And then after I feel like they've gotten it enough and they can model with one way, then I can elaborate and ask them to try a different model or to give me a word problem or whatever the extension part is for me. All right. So we're working on fraction. And so what I would do first, one of the things we did today was our number talk. So I gave them this model here. All right. Talked about what the dots mean. And then I asked them to create a word problem, then solve it. This is not new to them. This is our third week talking about a whole number divided by a unit fraction. So this was not new, but I needed to jog their memory because we're going on to a unit fraction divided by a whole number. This is a whole number divided by a unit fraction, which should jog their memory because we've already done this, and it helps me to see what more I need to talk about when we do the unit fraction divided by a whole number, right? So this is where we started. This is my engagement, okay? Then I would give them a problem to work on, and I would give them something like this. And then I will give them like a word scenario. So I can say that Cam has a half a pan of brownies that he wants to share with Chosen. All right. What do you think it would look like? So my questioning to them is, what do you think this would look like? How much do you think each person will get? All right. So this kind of lets you explore. You may get very weird responses. The most common response you're going to get is this, and they're going to give you 4. So that lets you know as a teacher that they're thinking about 2 divided by 1/2, not making the connection that you only have a half. So if I only have a half, there's no way for me to make 4. Okay? So then we go on with modeling. All right, you go on with the modeling. So what you want to do now is say, okay, draw you one hole. And they're going to question, well, why am I drawing a hole if I have a half? Well, half is half of what? It has to be half of something. So it's half of a whole. So then go ahead and partition it to your half and shade in what you have. Key here is shading in. All right. So that's the half a pan of brownies that he has. Now, he has to share his amount with 2 people. So then you take it and you split it this way and you circle because your amount is represented here. Each person gets the same amount. So kids are going to want to say 4, but it's not 4. They have 1 out of what? 1 out of 4 is what they have. So if you have a half a pan of anything and you split it in 2, you get 1/4. Connection also is when you start talking about money. Okay, if you have 50 cents and you have to share it with someone, each one of you are going to get this amount. Each person will get a quarter, or a quarter is the same as 1/4. So 1/4 is the same as 1/4 because it takes 4 of these. It takes 4 of these to get you $1 because this is your half. And then you have to split it, right? Same thing. So this is what you started with, this amount here. So each person will get the 1/4. All right, each person will get the 1/4. If you wanted to do the same problem with a tape diagram, I just like to split mine wider. I like to go by half, all right? And then you want to shade in once again. We can just move that a little bit. We know that we're representing a half. So then you want to shade in your half. You don't have that anymore, but you want to shade it in. And then you could do it this way if you want to. You can draw vertical lines to partition it. Now you're asking yourself, okay, how much does each person have? And each person has 1/4. So you had the 1/2 divided by 2. You have the 1/2 divided by 2, which is going to give you 1/4. So each person gets 1/4. Okay. We share one more way. I give my kids dot paper to use. Dot paper is just like the geo board. It's wonderful because the dot paper can also be your number line. So if I'm doing 1/2 and I'm dividing it by 2, I can make as many dots as I want to be my 1/2, as long as each section has the same amount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 dots be one section, okay? So this is 1, those 2 dots, and this is 2, all right? And then I am just going to go down 2. You can go down 5 if you want to. It doesn't matter. And then I'm going to split this in half. And once again, I'm going to shade in a half, all right? And then I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to split it into 2. Once again, I have 1/4, okay? 1/4. Now, I can use this as a number line. So I'm going to make this be 0, and I'm going to use 2 lines to equal a half. 1, that's a half, and that's 2 halves, which of course is going to be 1 whole, okay? You're probably seeing why I'm doing this, because when I get ready to split it, it's easier to split because my lines are already partitioned the way that I need it to be. So we know that that's 0. So this is each part, right, that each person is going to get. So this, I started with a half, which is here. So each person will get 1/4. So Cam will get this part, and then Chosen will get this part. So you got 1 section, 2 section, 3 and 4. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. But remember, 1 section is the amount that each person will get. So once again, this represents 1/4. Okay, that is a 4. That represents 1/4. Okay, so just want to show you the different tools that you can use to do a unit fraction divided by a whole number. Always model what you have, and when you model it, you divide it out correctly and you shade in what you have, and then whatever you're dividing by is your number of groups, then that is where you continue to partition, right? Hopefully this